Okay, kids, let's talk about change for a little bit here. Actually, that's what we're talking about for the whole thing here is change. Uh, Mostly for a couple of different reasons. The first reason is we're on the Oregon coast, which the weather is not normally like this. It usually changes back to its drizzly, wet, windy, gray, gloomy self here in the wintertime. But it kind of reminds me, though, that with change, we're constantly going through change. And I don't know if you've noticed in the world right now, there's a lot of wackiness going on, both with the virus and just everything else. I think people are going a little bit stir crazy the same way I am. But the problem is that when we find ourselves in really pains in the butt places, is that we tend to forget that things are in the process of changing. We tend to remember, we tend to think that we're stuck here forever. And while it can be very painful, and it is right now, I'm personally going a little bit nuts, which is why it's great to be able to get out here a little bit. But you tend to forget, and you only think of what you're in the particular moment, forgetting that within another year or two or 6 months or 5 days, things are going to change. It's just the nature of the reality of the world, of everything. So don't get caught thinking that whatever you're living right at this particular moment is the way it's going to be for the rest of your life, because it doesn't have to be. And most likely it won't be. Especially if you look back on your life. I know mine has changed one hell of a lot over the past 50, 60 years. It's been crazy how much things have changed. But we often need a reminder that that's the case and that we're not stuck here where we are. That the pain that we're living through right now is going to change also, hopefully for the better. And I think in this process of change, as we're heading from where we are currently and where we were to wherever the hell it is we're going to be getting to, we've got really one choice to make. And the choice to make is, what are you going to focus on? So that when you're going through change, you can focus on fear, which doesn't ever do anybody any good. And I'm the first one to tell you that, because I've lived that way for most of my life. Or you can focus on, well, love, for the lack of a better word, because that is what you would be focusing on. Because I kind of believe that everything in the world breaks down into only two things: love and not love. And not love kind of encompasses everything: fear, anger, rage, all of these things. And the more you get caught up in those things, the process of change becomes very difficult, because you become anchored within the things that are going on within your life instead of remembering all of the good stuff. So if you can, while you're in the middle of this great change, focus on love, on loving yourself, on giving love to others, to just focusing on those things instead of what is not love. And basically what is not love is everything else. Like I say, anger, all of those things. The change that you're going through is going to be a lot smoother, a lot more simple, and it's going to finally deliver you to the place where you probably wanted to be all along. So it's up to us what we focus on and how we focus during this crazy time. And we also have to remember that there is a different end point. We're not stuck here in this time and whatever we're processing and feeling and going through. It's just nature. It just will move on to other things. So please remember that there's more good stuff coming. We're not locked up forever. There's really no fear of that happening, although we may try to convince ourselves that we're going to be locked up forever or that things are going to be difficult. But let go of that. Try that for a day. Try it for just a period. Stop focusing with fear and start focusing with love. And I know it can be a huge challenge at this point to do that, but you're going to feel a lot better if you're doing that. And believe me, I'm telling this to myself. Every one of these episodes that I do is just really telling myself and reminding myself all of these things, because I tend to forget. And I tend to get wrapped up in a bad day when things are difficult. I tend to get wrapped up with things that are going on around the world. I tend to get wrapped up with, oh my God, we're never going to be able to travel again. And my wife and I love to travel. But that's not the case. Things will change. Things will change for the better. I firmly believe that. At least in my world, that's the way I'm going to create it in mine. And I hope in yours, things get wonderful. And I hope they get wonderful now. And I hope you remember how amazing life truly is. So focus on love, focus with love. Remember, it's all just change. We're kind of going through things, but where you are is not where you're stuck, because things are going to change for the better. Love you.